What is up, everybody? This is Why Not Us. My name is Mike. I am here with Mike on a Thursday night. Start things off. Why not Thursday night football? We have had some absolute duds in the past few years, and especially last year and this year. But this game between the Bengals and the Ravens did not disappoint. The second game between them this year, the first one went to overtime in an absolute classic in Cincinnati. They went to Baltimore tonight, and the Ravens won 35-34. The Bengals missed a 2-point conversion, very controversial, with about 30 seconds left. An absolute banger. Mike, what did you think of the game?
I'm a shell of a human being tonight. I did not see the game.
You want me to fill you in?
Please. I love that.
So, based on previous matchups between these teams, Lamar is actually 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread before this game. I'm like, okay, 6 points feels like a lot. Didn't even bet on who was going to win. I just said this game is going to be nuclear. Everyone's going to hit their over. I'm going to throw a bunch of props, and I'm going to get rich. And as I predicted, everyone went nuclear. Unfortunately, I lost 5 NFL parlays, 1 NHL parlay, and 1 NBA parlay. All 7 parlays that I threw tonight, I lost by 1 leg. 3 of them because of Zay Flowers. 1 of them like an idiot because I bet on Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
And the other one because of Derrick Henry.
I didn't understand. Your bets didn't add up to me. How did the Ravens score points? The Zay Flowers didn't hit his over. Derrick Henry didn't hit his rushing over, and neither did who was the other guy? Deontay Johnson. None of those guys hit their over.
Deontay Johnson had 1 catch, was really a non-factor. Tylan Wallace, a guy I've never heard of, has got to be the 4th or 5th string receiver on the Ravens. He caught an out route that he took to the house for an 84-yard touchdown. That was electric. Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar both had very solid games.
Let's go.
Bateman was getting all of the high-pressure looks. Lamar had a solid game where he didn't turn the ball over, which is what he needed to do. A back-and-forth game where Jamar Chase, ultimately them losing, was the storyline. Jamar Chase finished 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you had him on your fantasy team, 55.4 fantasy points for him.
I didn't bet on the game like you did, obviously, and I didn't get to watch it. I'll say why in a sec. But I had stake because in my biggest fantasy league, I'm playing my dad. And this is the first time I've played Pops in fantasy football, and we haven't been in a league with each other for 8-10 years. It's been a while, and this one means something because it's his boys' league. I live and die with Burrow and Chase, right? I've had goose eggs too. I'm up 80-5, and I've had 2 players. So I'm
going into Sunday with, depending on how your league scores, 80 to 89
I'm
points.
sorry, it's 89.62, so it's really 90.
Yep. In a PPR league, you are at just below 90 points between the two of them.
Unreal. So take that, Pops. What's up? What's up?
It was an absolute classic, a back and forth game.
Nice.
The Bengals offense looked good.
Was Kirk Herbstreit on the call?
He was.
How was he? Is he okay?
He was good. He sounded good. They didn't really bring it up much. They touched on it early.
If people don't know what we're referencing, the sweet boy Ben, the golden retriever, Kirk Herbstreit's beloved dog, passed away, had cancer, and my dog also died at the age of 10, golden retriever, because of cancer. That was such a great relationship. Do you think? I hate to be the guy to ask the question, but will there be people in the world? We've seen a lot of complainers this week in the world. Will there be people that say because the dog was on the road so much with Kirk Herbstreit, he's that caused the dog cancer? Will there be someone that says it?
There will be somebody, because there's somebody that says everything, but that's wrong. I mean,
so
look, Ben loved being on the road, and
Good
you could
boy.
tell, and he was the best.
Very good
And
boy.
so we are thinking of him and wishing Kirk and his family all the best.
So, okay. Kirk, Al, how'd Al do tonight?
Al needs to retire.
Oh, no, it wasn't a good Al night.
It was not a good Al night.
We haven't had a good Al night in a while.
No, I mean, he's trying. It's not for a lack of effort. He's getting towards the end of his career, though, and
yeah.
he needs to take a step back and maybe enjoy from the seats and instead of in the box.
Yeah, I wasn't at I couldn't watch the game. I mean, I was keeping track, but I've been at a work conference in Orlando. I was at one a couple weeks ago, but this one's like one of the biggest for my industry. And, you go with, it's just, I said it to you before the pod. It's like summer camp. It is so weird that this exists. Like, well, first of all, doing my job, and it's at the biggest level it gets as far as volume and as far as just connections. Like, it's just the whole shebang, right? And it's like 10 hours a day of that. But then at night, for example, last night, we sponsored the Flo Rida concert. And we went to Icon Park in Orlando, an old amusement park, and they had a full-fledged stage and like 3 different bars you could just go into. So we had like karaoke before, and then you go out there and we sponsored it. So we met Flo Rida, we met his guys, and then the concert goes on. He brought us on stage. At one point he literally got on stage and ripped my like button-down shirt, and I was just there in front of technically all my customers. But the thing is, like, they were partying, right? This is like vacation for the people I work with. So, I mean, and then today we were just at Universal, and we had there's 2 sections of Universal. We had the whole one rented out for just the entire event, and free drinks, free food, and it's great. I mean, the people are really nice. They're in great moods. So my coworkers are awesome, but it's draining. So I'm dead. I told you I didn't want to do the pod tonight, but here we are. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And then, I was planning on hopefully staying in Florida and seeing you, because you're going to be down here on Saturday, right?
I will. I get down to Tampa on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm supposed to fly out on Saturday morning, and I don't know. I probably will. I mean, I'm trying to convince myself to go to EDC tomorrow night. I haven't bought a ticket yet, but I don't know. It's in the cards.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I know you're afraid to watch the Cowboys game with me because you're afraid of what's going to happen when the Eagles lose. Like, listen, I don't blame you. It's been a long week. Just go home. You can cry on the couch by yourself. It's totally cool.
I could stay till like Monday night, and then Monday morning we could run the 29 miles together that you have to do. That would be fun, Or
did you see what Jared said on the Instagram?
I did. He's ambitious.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know our friends, which is very few people because pretty much only our friends listen to this. For anyone out there, my big brother in the fraternity, also a New Jersey native Cowboy fan, he pledged that for this week, if the Cowboys lose, he will do the running with me. And one of his best friends from college, also a year older than us, Blake Jerd, pledged, because he is so confident in the Eagles winning, that if the Eagles lose to the Cowboys, he will multiply the margin of loss by 10 and run that many miles. So if the Eagles lose by 1 point, he's running 10 miles.
He's essentially saying there's no fucking way we lose this game, or else I'll run. I mean, I kind of agree with Jared, Mike. Like, if we want to be, I think I've been like almost holding it back on you a little bit. Like, we're going to kill the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure. I know Devontae missed a practice. AJ obviously has the knee thing. I think both of them could play. If they don't play, then maybe it's not, because that's just a different team. Even just one of them. You see that the Eagles, there's something weird that happens when AJ Brown isn't on the team. But Mike, I mean, Cooper Rush, right? Is Micah playing? I don't think he is.
No.
That's insane. He's missed like 6 games now. I mean, this injury I thought was going to be like a week. Anyways, like,
No, it was like a 6 to 8 week thing. It was pretty
damn.
serious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there's just no confidence the Cowboys can have going into this game. We already hit on this week's early pod that, you're in a good position as far as like if the impossible were to happen, like, holy shit, and I get the worst outcome. But Mike, the odds of the Cowboys winning this game, like I'll give it 3.5%.
3.5%.
Yeah. That the Cowboys win this game.
Less than 25 to 1 odds.
Yeah, that's my personal brain odds. Yes.
Okay, well, you're tired, so we'll give you a break.
I don't know. It feels like the right number. Sorry.
I think in a divisional game at home where we've played flawless this season.
You idiot. I don't think people got the bet. We did.
No, the stats the stats were true. They were real stats.
Right.
But I mean, none of them made sense or gave a reason for why the Cowboys will win. I will give you my reasonings for why the Cowboys have an edge.
Wait,
one,
like you're convinced they're just going to win the game, like in general?
I'm just saying there's some facets of the game where the Cowboys have an edge.
Okay.
Number 1, the kicking department. Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker in the league. He has officially taken the spot from Justin Tucker.
Yep.
Justin Tucker missed a big extra point tonight, ended up not costing them. The Ravens went for 2 and got it. Ultimately wasn't a big play in the game because of how many more plays were scored. But Justin Tucker, no longer the king. Welcome, Brandon Aubrey. You're the best kicker in the league. Do you debate that? Is Brandon Aubrey better than Jake Elliott?
No, because Jake Elliott has had bigger kicks and bigger spots. I mean, Brandon Aubrey just hasn't even been to the level Jake Elliott's been in. He's kicked in 2 Super Bowls, and I'm pretty sure he's perfect in both of them.
Okay, but is he kicking from as far as Brandon Aubrey and as smooth as Brandon Aubrey?
Jake Elliott is known for hitting anything above 60 yards. Like, that is...
They were going to send Brandon Aubrey out for 71.
Did they?
Okay, so we can debate that, but right now it's 1-0 Cowboys.
I'm not giving you shit, dude. The Cowboys are trash. Brandon Aubrey is gonna, he's gonna miss a field goal. That's my big prediction for the game. Is Brandon Aubrey misses the field goal?
You just made that up right now, but
no, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so
advantage number 2, the cheerleaders. Tell me the Eagles have better cheerleaders than the Dallas Cowboys.
I won't. I can't do that. You're welcome.
2-0 Cowboys.
1.5.
Still, you have a donut. Advantage number 3, hospitality. The Cowboys will be sleeping in their own beds on Saturday night, comfortable with their families or with their friends or their roommates or their dogs or whoever they choose to reside with.
Yeah, the Cooper Rush gets to shit bricks in his own home. You're so right. That's going to be comfortable.
The Eagles will be sleeping in a hotel that they haven't stayed in over a year, that they're not familiar to, with shitty toilet paper and shitty bath towels and shitty bar soap.
No, dude, Big Dom does the accommodations. He's top notch. It doesn't get better than Big Dom.
Number 3, advantage Cowboys. That's 3 things.
That is 3 things. That was pretty good.
3-0. Suddenly we're up 3-0 before the game even starts.
I think we're up to, based on your prediction, 3.7% chance. Based on
I don't care about your percentage that you're just pulling out of your ass because you're delusional.
Dude, come on. We all know that I am a ball knower. I mean, we've been over it.
So you have no reasonings for why the Eagles will win.
Well, Mike, I mean, I do have plenty of reasonings. We'd be doing it for an hour, and I probably have a social battery of 20 minutes left. So,
all right, give me your top three. Let's try and tie the score.
I mean, the obvious ones are like we have an offense. Jalen Hurts is still playing, and he's been incredible. Saquon Barkley is playing in this game against maybe the worst rush defense in the league this year, right? Whoever 21 is, your cornerback, like he has to guard AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. Like that is not going to work, right?
If they play.
Nonetheless, let's talk about the defense, right? Our pass rush has also improved very well. Who is playing left tackle for the Cowboys on Sunday? Because didn't the rookie already get hurt?
No, Guyton's okay.
He's okay. I don't even care because we'll throw Josh Sweat over there. We'll throw Nolan Smith over there, and they'll fly by him. He's a rookie. Jalen Carter is playing your rookie center tomorrow. That's a storyline. CeeDee Lamb will be locked down by the top 10 cornerback in the league, Darius Slay or Quinyon Mitchell. They're both top 10 in the league. Can you believe that? We have 2 top 10 corners.
Sure, maybe.
Nakobe Dean will fly across the field. The Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, he'll have 6 catches for 85 yards and no touchdown, right? Cooper Rush will have a good connections here and there. But just like when Dak Prescott is in the game for the Cowboys, they will be bad on 3rd and long. They will not be able to run the ball, probably even more now, which is just crazy. I don't care who's playing running back. That's just nobody's been able to run on the Eagles since the bye, right? It's not going to be the Cowboys. We've seen that against any defense this year. So, that's why it's 3.7%, Mike. I just can't think of a plausible outcome of how, in a 60-minute football game, the Cowboys can somehow have more points than the Eagles.
That's the beauty of football, is not played on paper, played on a field. And speaking of the field, are you concerned that the Cowboys so far this year have 10 sacks at home in Dallas? The Eagles have 0 sacks in Dallas so far this season. No sacks all season in a place they got to play on Sunday?
Sure.
You can't feel good about that.
No, the Eagles will fly on that AT&T turf, though. I expect 40 points in this game from the Eagles. I expect...
How many points?
40. 40. 4-0.
So far this season, they've scored 0 points in the city of Dallas, Texas.
That is true, Mike. You got me there.
All right. So right now we're at 4 to 1.5.
Yeah.
Are we going to do any kind of wager for this game?
I was thinking about that.
We don't have to decide now. We can figure it out throughout the weekend and make a post if you're not ready because you're nervous. That's fine.
Well, I was thinking we could do a pre-game show or maybe a live stream during the episode.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. We should do that.
Yeah.
It'd be even cooler if we were in person, but I don't know. Flying back Monday sounds like a lot.
I know. That would just be a brutal flight after a loss.
You know what? Fly back Monday doesn't. I need to be with you when we. I'll figure it out. Yo, Mason DeMichael, if you're listening to this, could I potentially stay at your crib?
Dude, just text the kid.
Yeah, I will. But what if he? This will show me if he's listening to the episode.
I think he does listen.
I've been meaning to text him. I've been meaning to text my parents. I've been just not a person for 3 days. So cut me some slack. Cool.
Yeah, you have a lot going on, and that's not stopping anytime soon with a big football game on Sunday. So I get it. There's a lot going on.
Is there any big college games this weekend besides Gators, Texas?
Gators against Texas is going to be awesome. I'm very upset.
Yeah, DJ's probably going to play. We should probably mention that Billy Napier is going to be the head football coach next year. Listen, DJ reposted his story. right? He seems happy about this. It seems like DJ Lagway will also be back next year. I think that's
Yeah,
probably safe to say. And
I'm gonna knock on wood there, but yeah, I mean that's been my feeling all season
yeah,
is, and this is what I said before the season, was no matter what happens this season, I'd like to see some improvement, but more than anything else, whatever we do, we need to keep DJ Lagway on the team for next season.
Yep.
And if having Napier at the helm is our best chance at guaranteeing DJ Lagway doesn't transfer, I'm here for it.
I actually think the Gators staff has turned into something like pretty admirable. I think the players respect that staff. We've seen a different level of juice. And like, listen, I mean, at the end of the Dan Mullen run, like this program was really gutted. Like that still needs to be mentioned, right? So this was never going to be 3 years for like this was always going to be a long run. I mean, sure, if you want to say like next year is the final, like yeah, obviously, like any year is the final year potentially, right? Like you could have a year like Dan Mullen did in his last year as the Florida Gators and then be out like that's right. So I agree with the decision. I do want to say though, I think it's just weird that you have to like announce that in the middle of the season. Like, is that something that other programs have done? Like, I don't think I've seen that before, where the athletic director comes out and he's like, "Hey guys, long statement. Like, by the way, we're keeping Billy Napier." Like, I get there's like recruiting implications and stuff. It just seems weird to me.
No, I agree, and I'm not sure. Like you said, my first thought was the recruiting. I know the fans are calling for his head, so maybe it's
Yeah,
more of like a
I
fuck
want
off.
him
Like you
gone.
can say what you want, but he's
Mm-hmm.
not going anywhere. I'm not sure what the angle is, but I mean, listen, these people run a collegiate athletic program, and they're
Yeah.
not idiots. So for
Which
whatever reason they did it, I have to assume that it was for a good reason. And yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think we've definitely seen some bounce back. I mean, they started off the first 3 games of the year absolutely terrible, and it could have just continued to snowball into this collapse of a
Mhm.
season that a lot of us sort of expected to see, with the schedule getting harder and harder. And although they're not finishing and winning games, they're in these games, they're in the harder games. They weren't in the easier games. Like, they're stepping up to the plate. And when you look at someone like Florida State, on the other hand,
Yeah.
who had a few bad games to begin the year and just crumbled, and
Supposed
they
to be a
haven't
good
bounced
team.
back at all.
Got
Yeah.
good talent on that team, right? Like,
And
yeah.
Norvell clearly lost that locker room, and he lost the players, and they
Yep.
gave up. And the players must at least respect or admire Billy Napier in some form, because they're
We
still
gotta kick
fighting
the
for
shit out
him.
of Florida
So,
State. We gotta
oh,
get.
it's going to be awesome.
I think we got 2 more wins in us this season. But to bring it back to the athletic director, like in honor of this week, like why can't we like maybe even with head coaches, like wouldn't it be cool if like the kids and the students that went to the university got to like vote or like on who would run your like collegiate program at like at the very least the athletic director, right? I think do they get to do it for president of UF? Or maybe it's like
No.
some board. Yeah. So I don't know. I know they do like the student shit. That was just a dumb thought. But anyways, do you have do you think any of our friends would make a good University of Florida athletic director besides ourselves?
Yeah, we would kill it. Uh, and as I'm thinking of who I think would be best, I think it is very interesting that our athletic director is comfortable enough saying that. Obviously, he's been given the assurance that he's going to keep his job,
Yeah,
because,
that's maybe
I mean, he must have been, I think if he didn't bring in Todd Golden for the basketball team,
that is a good point. That is a good point.
then he's on the hot seat as well. And maybe it's like, hey, let's blow this whole thing up and start from the ground up.
They're a
But
good team this year. I think this
yeah,
year
did you see
this
Walter Clayton
yeah.
tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, that was dirty. And that guy is going to be on National Player of the Year watch all
I think
season.
we got basketball back at this university for sure. I think we got a good program brewing over there.
And Golden seems like the guy.
Yeah, he
So
does. Yeah, I mean from year one too. Like it was really cool to see them nail that, especially after Mike White, who's just bland. Like nobody, you just have those coaches where it's like, dude, it's just hard to get behind you. Like Todd Golden, dude. Like, even if he did to start, kind of had similar numbers to Mike White. Like, he's still a guy you like more, for sure.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll get more into basketball as that season progresses. But
our
to bring it
NBA
back,
insider, he said we're going to win March Madness. That was one of the things, and we have some more NBA points too. This
big
season.
prediction.
Yeah.
I was looking at our odds, and they are juiced.
What are they?
Believe we're plus 20,000.
Okay,
something like that. I could be totally wrong, so don't quote me on that.
I'm going to lose my Jaden Daniels MVP bet. Lamar Jackson pretty much has won MVP again.
I mean, he's disgusting. So
they showed a stat comparison, and it was like this point last year, he had like 10 passing touchdowns, 400 rushing yards. This year, he has 24 passing touchdowns and same amount of rushing yards, same record. Like, it's just,
So I'm still a hater on his throwing ability as far as the talent compared to other elite quarterbacks, but there is a change in when the games get gritty, especially tonight. You saw it in the past. These are the types of games where he takes over with his legs.
Yeah.
Because he needs to get it done. And you saw it 2 or 3 times tonight where he made some special runs. I mean, he on 3rd and 8 from like the 15 scrambled, averted 2 defensive ends trying to sack him, moved out to the right, hugged the touchline, kept going, juked like 3 more people, and then got tackled on the 1, and then Derrick Henry finished it off. I mean, so he's clearly got that ability, but he's not immediately going to that. He's still looking downfield. He's still looking to pass the ball.
Yeah.
When guys are open, he's hitting them, and they're running a really great offense that's benefiting him. So it's very scary as not a Ravens fan to see that he's still getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But
should we
go back
picks?
to quick thing on cool athletic director for the Florida Gators.
Oh yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're good. I think we have a lot of very passionate Florida Gator fans who went to Florida, but
more than us probably too. Like we got some diehard friends,
because a lot of them who grew up in like Orlando or Jacksonville or Tampa or even Miami, where the Dolphins aren't like a super diehard fan base, they grew up, whether their parents went there or not, as Florida Gator fans.
Yeah.
So they've seen Tebow when they were kids, and then they've seen a whole lot of bad years before and after, and now they went to the school. They have a whole different opinion of Florida, and I think that's kind of what you need.
Right.
And so I think someone like a Zach Rower, a Michael Higgins, and Alex Orr, some of these guys, like when they give their opinions of the team, sometimes I don't like it. Like when Dan Mullen got fired, it was like, he needs to get fired. He lost to Vanderbilt in Missouri, and we can never lose to Vanderbilt in Missouri. And I'm like, well, yeah, I agree, but like you can't base the coach on whether he's beating like Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Kentucky every year, because you're not going to beat them every year. Like the Cowboys don't beat the Giants and the Redskins and sweep them every single season. And it doesn't mean that their coach gets fired, but there's that different level of passion and expectation out of a football program that they have.
And you see college programs do that a lot. They'll hire ingrown. Yeah. Zach Rower definitely came to mind. He even does like what does he do on Facebook? Like the week, I don't go on Facebook. Yeah, so like
Rower's Rants.
Where did that come from? Like, why did he choose Facebook? Like, because I don't use Facebook anymore. Is he just because I would think that would be like a Twitter thing almost. Like, I love him when I log in. I'm like, this is set. Like,
every single one is great, and he's got a format. He's got like his 3 takes, and yeah, I don't know if he was like going for like the family friendly audience, or I've never actually asked him why he decided to do it on Facebook. But
yeah, I mean, I know we did like the Facebook I used like only when we had our big fraternity group, which was awesome, by the way. Like those group chats, we had the group me, which was very like conversational, but then the Facebook, like we would pop off in the most professional way. It was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it's good to see someone still utilizing that in our generation.
Sure. So I think that's where a lot of it stemmed from. I'm not gonna be able to finish a lot of my points the rest of the episode, by the way.
No, that's fine. Let's move into picks. Let's let's bang these out.
Can we do 1, 2, 3? Because maybe my brain is like is perfect for making sports bets tonight.
If you really want to, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you what games are? Let's go through like the good games. I haven't even looked at the slate really. I know Eagles, Cowboys.
I took a peek. There's a few decent games. Nothing really pops at
like
me.
Giants, Panthers, good game.
I mean, Giants, Panthers in Germany. So I feel bad for anybody in Germany that doesn't realize they're overpaying for a really shitty football game.
The worst. I don't think it gets much worse. Okay.
And the crazier part is the Giants are 6.5 point favorites.
I know.
And I don't think they deserve to be 6.5 point favorites against anybody.
I think it's the right line, though.
And therefore, I'm going to take the Giants. I'm going to, like I said last podcast, I'm going to go against everything that I think. So everything there screams to me Panthers, close game in Germany, going to be low scoring.
That. Right.
I mean, Bryce Young is playing better. I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. My gut's telling me Carolina. It's a big line. Germany's weird. The Giants are better, but that line is a lot of points. Now, I think after saying that, I'm also going to take the Giants because I do think it's this time of year where the good teams deserve these bigger lines. So take the better football team. I don't want to sweat Carolina. We'll both be on the Giants.
Interesting that you're considering the Giants to be a good team, but
they have Brian Burns' revenge game, right? I mean, it's still Bryce Young and a Chuba Hubbard backfield. They just traded Deontay Johnson, right? So it's there's not a lot of hope for that team. I think that Saints game was pretty almost emotional and obviously a divisional game. This is Germany. You both have to travel out there. You're both not used to it, right? It's going to be a 16-3 game going into the fourth quarter. And then the Panthers are going to make it a little bit frisky. And Rich Eisen is going to be now here we go. It's just going to, and that's when people are going to be waking up and they're going to be God damn it. Blow my brains out,
Yep.
But I'll take the Giants because and give me the under too. I mean, just let me hammer the under in that game.
Love it. 40.5, still taking the under.
Do you want to start doing that instead of just picking the sides? Do you want to be able to just take an over under in the games too?
I mean, if you're afraid of spreads, sure.
Dude, that's not, I mean, but if the point of this is to make money, sometimes I'm just more confident on the over under. This game comes to mind for sure. I just want to take the under.
Yeah, I think the point of this for me is just picking spreads and being a better ball knower. Well, and I'm not saying that you have to literally put money on all this stuff, but for the sake of picking, that's why I like picking every game.
Well, it's still I want to have a better record and shit, so.
Yeah, so it's 50-50 theoretically with the spread.
And the total. It's all 50-50.
All right, would you like the under?
If you don't mind.
I will give you the under.
I'm just clearly the smarter gambler. I want that to be exploited. I want to take smart bets this week with my dumbfounded brain. Patriots at Bears. Let's get through the shitty games, Mike. This is also a 6.5 point spread for Chicago. And the over-under is 38.5. Do you?
I'm taking the Bears. I'm going to keep riding the Bears. The Bears have let me down in 2 past weeks.
Lock of week?
No, not lock of the week, but I do still believe in that Bears defense. Drake May isn't 100% healthy traveling into Chicago. Going to assume it's going to be a bit of a chillier game, gritty. I mean, I do honestly like that 38.5 under. Bears -6, which means I should take the Patriots.
Right.
So I'm going to take the Bears.
You've taken the Bears a lot. You've taken the Bears a lot.
Yeah.
I think weird thing going on with Bears after that Washington game. And I don't like Eberflus at all. And 6.5 is a lot of points. And Patriots have been in weird games, right? And Drake May is awesome. I love Drake May. Like, so I'm gonna pick the Patriots in this game. It's also
Yeah, I'm
not
gonna
really
take.
being. Go ahead.
I'm flipping Patriots.
Yeah, and it's like, I know they're not. It's clearly different because the Commanders are good and so are the Bears. But we can hype up this game a little more as like Drake May versus Caleb Williams, right? Drake May has clearly shown he's a good, talented quarterback and something you can build on if you do it right. He's definitely the most raw out of those three, but there's something there. Like, we've seen it in a couple plays, so be a cool game, I guess. Patriots.
I actually like the Patriots money line at plus 230.
I don't know if I'll go that far because the Bears
They could easily win the game.
The Bears, I don't know. Didn't they just have an upset last week?
The Bears last week lost to the Cardinals.
No, I'm talking about the Patriots. Didn't they win?
No, they lost to the Titans.
Oh, right. But it was really close. Right. Okay.
It was.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. It's in Chicago, 1:00 game. Bills at Colts, another 1:00 game.
Ew.
Plus 3.5 Colts, over under 47.5. Joe Flacco still, right?
Yeah, I think the Joe Flacco era is coming to an end. I don't really know what the Colts are supposed to do. Like,
It's not that
if they can somehow win this game, they're 5-5 and staying around 500, and the AFC is totally alive for the playoffs.
Mike, does it feel like the Colts have been getting like a lot of love from Vegas? Like, I feel like their spreads are always really close, and I'm just not like there on the Colts.
Well, they seem to keep these games close.
They do, and it's in. Yeah, no, I think 3.5 actually sounds pretty correct. Because it could easily just be a 3-point Bills win.
They lost to the Vikings on Sunday Night Football last week by 8, and that was their largest margin of loss all season.
Yeah, man, this is a good line. I think I'm leaning Colts now. I mean, the Bills have also they can score 42 on anyone. But the Colts they're just weird. And I like weird teams. I'm going to take the Colts. I'm going to take the plus 3.5. I think they lose the game by 3, if I'm going to be completely honest.
I'm going to take the Bills. I like the Colts first half. This seems like a game where the Colts somehow keep it close, and then the Bills just dump 35 points in the second half out of nowhere. But my official pick will be Bills minus
4. I have 3.5.
Ooh, I'll take the 3.5. Thank you.
Okay. Vikings at Jaguars. Jaguars plus 7.
Wow.
Doug Peterson is still the coach. The Vikings are back, sort of.
Yeah, I think they're back, and they won against a team that was worse than them. I think they'll win this game as well against a team that's worse than them.
This game's going to be really bad.
The Jaguars can score points.
Yeah,
the offense was never the issue. It was the issue early in the season, but the defense was always the question. The offense has started to figure it out, and I think they'll be able to score enough to cover 7. So I'm going to take the Vikings minus 7.
Okay. It's I don't know. I feel like we could potentially be taking a lot more dogs than we like this week, and I just don't know if I love that. The favorites have been really good though the past 2 weeks.
The favorites, when they win, are covering over 75% of the time.
That's right. There's been a lot of upsets, but there's also been if you're gonna win, you're winning by So
yeah, and I'm just gonna keep fading every single pick that I like. So I like the Jaguars, and I'm gonna write down Vikings minus.
I guess I'm gonna take a lot of the picks you do like. So I'll speak on your first instinct. I'm going to take the Jags. I think 7 points is a lot at home, and I think, like you said, they could stay in a lot of football games. I saw it with the Eagles last week. So
I think that was more an Eagles thing, but
continue.
Weird 1:00 game that you don't get much in the 1:00 slate. Broncos at Chiefs.
Okay. And it's a good line, 7.5. Oh God, the Chiefs are going to go 9-0. I mean, this is Bo Nix. This is your first game against the Chiefs, right? It's kind of like a college football game when you play, the in-state rival each year, and like that's all you ask of your quarterback or your coach that year, right? It's similar with Denver and Kansas City, right? Like you haven't really been able to beat them practically at all since Peyton Manning, right? So are you going to come in and like be that guy? Yes, but probably not in Kansas City. It'll probably be the Denver game later in the year, right? So, I think I'm just going to ride with the Chiefs here. I think there's a better chance they cover the 7.5 versus, we saw with the Broncos did get blown out last week. And I don't love betting on teams that they're going to get blown out twice in a row. The Broncos are decent, right? And it's a division game. So that was me convincing myself to take Broncos plus 7.5, and I'm taking a lot of dogs. I just know I'm going to take a lot of dogs this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right there with you. I honestly really like the Chiefs in this spot. The Broncos got absolutely fucked on their schedule and had to visit the Ravens and then visit the Chiefs, who are arguably the best two teams in football in back-to-back weeks.
They won't win the game.
That's pretty fucked up. So I think they get murdered again,
I like
and
the
the Chiefs
too.
Probably cover with ease.
I think Broncos are going to play a good defensive game in this game, though. It's division, like they're going to be juiced up after that loss, and the Chiefs don't have a lot of weapons. I think Pat Surtain just locks down DeAndre Hopkins and he's silent. I think you're going to rely on big speed plays on the outside, but the Broncos are just a sturdy defense. So I think they keep it close. I think it's a low-scoring game, and they cover the 7.5. I don't think they win the game. Neither do I think the Jaguars or even the Colts win the game. I'm betting on close football games here. Maybe I get an upset or two.
Nice. Yeah, I totally love the Chiefs. So, like I said, I'll be taking the opposite of every single pick I like, and I'll be 10-4, just like I was 4-10 last week. If I faded myself, would have been 10-4. Going to do it again this week.
Nice. There you go. You're cold, so yeah, there you go. Falcons at Saints. What a terrible game. Saints are plus 3.5, and I'm not betting on the Saints in any game, so I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't know if Derek Carr's better or worse than
I just don't care.
Spencer Rattler. He now doesn't have Chris Olave, and I mean, this game just...
So you're going to take the Saints because you like the Falcons?
Yep.
Okay.
They hopefully somehow lose by a field goal.
Dude,
but
sometimes that is really the best strategy because I just don't think... I don't know how you could take the Saints cover in this game. The public agrees. 87% Atlanta. I mean, So I just don't want to be on that side of it. I don't want to look dumb.
I'm being different, and everything screams Falcons.
It works a lot of the time. It does. That was a lot of my strategy this year. I don't know what my strategy is tonight, but anyways, so somewhat better. Niners at Buccaneers in the 1:00 slate. Two good games actually. There's two good games in the 1:00 slate. So, plus 6.5 at home against no IU. Debo's back. Bucks are still really injured. And, you probably should have won that game last week. I'm going to take the Niners in this game. I don't know if the Buccaneers, have the energy to go to overtime against a good team again, like they did last week. I'm always proven wrong when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, Nick Bosa matchup, planting of the flag, cool, pretty sick. Always love to see that. Give me the Niners, right? I think this is when we start to see the Niners be, right there with the Lions and the Eagles, which is what kind of I think we all expected out of the NFC this year. And you saw the Packers and Vikings, but so I'm going to take the Niners, 6.5.
I think this is actually a really big game for both teams.
Yeah,
I mean, the 49ers at 4-4, if they fall to 4-5, they're kind of all in on winning the division, or else they can lose and not make the playoffs. And the Bucs have already lost to the Falcons twice and are falling behind in their division.
Right.
If they fall to 4-6, they're on the outside looking
this is
in,
a
going
big
to need a
game.
crazy stretch to make the playoffs.
I wouldn't say it's a loser go home game, but I think if the Bucs lose this game, like it's kind of almost scary. And I think we're seeing that the NFC South isn't as good as we were like, oh my God, the NFC South, right? I think it's really just the Falcons will be frisky and that's it.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons are 6-3, assuming they beat the Saints, they go to 7-3. If the Bucs drop to 4-6 after already losing to them twice, you can pretty much count them out of the division.
Dude, the Commanders are gonna make playoffs. Like it's not just that they're 7-2. Like it's gonna be really hard not to get the 7th seed in the NFC. It feels like the 7th seed is gonna be easy, and the NFC, it feels like it's the opposite in the AFC. It feels like a million teams can get it there.
Agreed. I think there's a big division in the NFC between the top 7 and everybody else.
Yeah.
AFC, that 6th and 7th spot is up to anybody. To give my pick in this game, who do I like more? Who would I throw on? I think I like the 49ers because, like you said, it's hard for me to see the Bucs coming back from a game like that. But I'm going to go with the Bucs.
Okay. Cool. Steelers at Commanders. Great game. And I'm already know where my head's at on this. Maybe a weird logic, but I think they're gonna juice up this Commanders Eagles Thursday night game next week. I think both teams win this week. I'm taking the Commanders -2.5.
This is a tough game. I love the Steelers defense.
Yeah, you
but
like the
at
Steelers.
the same time, the Commanders offense is really good.
I'm cool with taking the Commanders in the spot. Very cool with it. I'm still not convinced on the Steelers like most are. Great defense, sure, but Jaden Daniels will score points.
That offense with Russell Wilson is getting better every single week.
I'm sorry. I watched Russell Wilson for 2 years. I know he's looked good, and it's great to see him look good. But and we've talked about this. Like, there's still bad play Russell Wilson. That is very much still there and he just fortunately had some good plays as well. But I'm not betting on it. I'm taking Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders.
Yeah.
Because I think I like the Steelers.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense. Cool. I like my picks so far. Like a lot.
I don't know how I feel. I'm just fading myself, which makes me just feel bad about everything.
Yeah, that's dude. It's hard to do. Like while
it's
you're doing
hard,
it,
but I'm committing to it because I either do it 100% of the time or I don't do it at all. I'm going to do it for every single pick. I'm going to figure out who I like and I'm going to fade.
I'm going to keep holding yourself accountable. You can't cheat and like pretend like you like the other one. But Titans at Chargers in a snooze fest to start the afternoon slash. It's Chargers -7.5, right? And I just don't want to take a side. The over-under is 38.5, as it should be. Actually, no, I can't take the over. It's Mason Rudolph. I mean, this line, it's 7.5. Like the Chargers really don't win by more than a touchdown a lot, right? It's usually low-scoring games with this team. But Justin Herbert, like, isn't it weird how like we just don't talk about Justin Herbert anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's it's not a peep about this guy, and like I get that he's not maybe just a defined top 5 QB. I don't know if he really ever was.
He was up there though. He was in the conversation,
right? Like, and they have a good record. That's a decent team. Like I don't get that part, and I think he's looked better. Like I think like the past 3 weeks or so, he's looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, they're not asking him to do too much. I mean, Harbaugh and that offense is fully, it relies on the run game and J.K. Dobbins. Happy to see him still healthy and playing good football because this is the guy that we saw in college, the guy that we've been waiting for all these years. He fits incredibly well in that offense. I mean, just everything screams Chargers force turnovers. Chargers run the ball. They beat you on the ground. They don't make mistakes. The Chargers should do to the Titans what they did to the Browns last week, which is just dominate from start to finish. And therefore, give me Titans +7.
Cool. Jets at Cardinals. The Jets are favored
What's
by
your pick in
minus.
the Titans game, by the way?
Oh fuck! I have to pick it. Fuck. Who did you take? I'm sorry. I was looking
I'm
at the
taking the
next games
Titans.
because you like the Chargers.
Correct.
Where's the public at in this game? Yeah, I'm in Chargers 80. I'll take the Chargers. I just can't do it.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Jets
moving on.
at Cardinals. Pretty much pick them, but the Jets are favored by -1.5. The over/under is 46.5. And I think I'm going to take the Jets in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets as well. And in a
You like
weird way, I feel
Cards,
good
yeah.
about this because I really want to take the Cardinals at home. I hate the Jets. I don't care that they won last week. I don't believe in them. I think they suck. They're not going to make the playoffs. And I actually really like the Cardinals way back when. I said that they would win that division, and you thought I was crazy. Ultimately, the 49ers are still going to pull that out somehow, and the Cardinals won't do it. If I had to pick, I would take the Cardinals, which leaves me with the Jets laying the points away from them.
Nice. I don't know. Jets just feels right in this game. I'm picking my lock of the week at the end, by the way.
Me too. I'm going to reevaluate and pick the lock of the week based
Okay.
on the game I hate the most.
Our game. Cowboys Eagles. Mike, your lock of the week should definitely be the Cowboys. It just should be. The Cowboys are 7-point underdogs at home. We previewed the matchup, and there's zero chance on earth I am not taking the Eagles to win by a touchdown. Probably going to be more than a touchdown. The over-under in this game is 43.5. And I don't know why, but over is also screaming at me in this game. Right? Just because of the Eagles alone. Like I said, I think they score 40 points. So I like the Eagles and the over. I think, I don't know if I'm going to label this as my lock of the week, but I'm going to take an Eagles tease at -2.5. And then I'm going to take the over, probably just where it is, and then call it a parlay and put a lot of money on.
Since you're so confident in the Eagles, will you be throwing $380 on them to bring back 100?
Am I going to do it?
They are -380 on the money line. You are so confident. Will you be throwing $380 to get a free $100?
Yeah. I mean, that's
You are going to throw $380.
Well, let me. If I have a good day tomorrow, I explained to you how I could have a good day tomorrow. Then yeah. But I only bet I don't bet that much in a weekend alone or a Sunday, So it's like,
but it should be a free $100, right?
Yes, but I still don't love. I mean, you never take straight bets -300 plus unless you're doing our 2-day challenge of -500 locks. You just don't do that.
This is -400, so
I don't know. No, Mike, I'm just gonna take that parlay I like, and then I'm gonna throw some props. And Eagles -7 feels comfortable too. So, but is Cowboys your lock of the week? Wait. Don't you have to take the Eagles since you like the Cowboys? Do you like the Cowboys in this game? This is where I got you. Now you have to show your cards, what you actually think.
What do I actually think from this game? I don't know what to think. I mean, I just have no idea. It seems like CeeDee Lamb is playing. The defense is like a D2 defense that's picking people up off the streets. Zeke might be back, and honestly, I think we're better off without him. Like you said, the O-line is banged up. Cooper Rush in his first game, he only played 3 drives last week.
He looks decent against the Eagles, 2022. But
I just have no idea what Cowboys team is going to show up, and that's just been relative for this whole season.
I will say it does feel like if the Cowboys just aren't maybe god awful, which I'm pretty convinced they are, it does feel like they're due for a closer game.
Obviously, this wouldn't be the line if Dak Prescott was playing, but if Dak Prescott was playing, I would throw $380 to bring back 100 on the Cowboys +7. Because divisional, gritty, close game between two mediocre teams. I like that. With Cooper Rush at the helm,
you get killed at home too, dude.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore the strategy just for this game because, like I've said all season, I won't. I don't take the Eagles. I haven't taken the Eagles one time all season. I haven't taken the Eagles one time all season, and the season-long strategy takes precedent over the weekly strategy, and therefore, Cowboys +7.
I don't know if your strategy's been working, Mike. Especially the last 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure.
The last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks I've been cold. But you know what? It's been 75 to 80 degrees in D.C. all week. The weather is warming up for no reason in November, and maybe I'm warming up.
Dude, it got dumped on in Denver. I left for this week, and we got like 6 inches. Yeah, the mountains got hounded, so it's snowing there.
Yeah, you left at the right time because that was the sports gambling gods letting you know winter's coming for you.
Right. We're taking all the unders.
Enjoy the Florida sun while you can.
Sunday Night Football, also a good game. Lions at Texans. The Houston Texans, rightfully so, because it's the Detroit Lions, are +3.5 at home. The over-under is 48.5. Weird game, right? Spread feels right. Lions are just going to get a lot of love the rest of the season. 91% of the money is on Detroit in the spot. 91.
Yeah, and my immediate thought is to go with Detroit. I didn't do it for a few weeks there when I wasn't a full-on believer, and I did it last week, and it worked because they beat the Packers comfortably, and I think they're going to do it again. And for that reason, I will take the Texans +3.5 and hope they only lose by a field goal.
Yeah, I've been kind of betting on that for a lot of games this week, but I'm going to take the Lions in this game.
I think the Lions is the right bet.
It's a pretty, when I saw it at first, I'm like, oh, Texans, but Texans are weird, right? They've shown that they maybe aren't, they honestly remind me a lot of the Eagles last year. I know the Eagles record was better and they were maybe like the best team in football, but the Texans, like, there's clearly some just weird holes, and like it doesn't ever feel like they're gonna have a dominant football game for maybe the rest of the season because of their injuries. Offensive line, and that's the offensive line's a big part of that. And Detroit, well, they just got Zadarius Smith, right? Was that who they picked up?
Detroit, yeah.
Did Green Bay trade Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith?
No, Zadarius Smith was on
he was on the Browns. He was on the Browns. He used to be on the Packers. Okay.
He used to, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take the Lions in this game. I don't like betting on bad O-lines. Okay, and then Monday Night Football is pretty much pick 'em. Weird game. Dolphins at Rams. It's a long travel for the Dolphins. Yeah, pretty much pick 'em in this game, Mike. So over-under's 50.5. I like the over because the screams like a high-scoring Monday Night Football game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of days away, it feels like. I was just like, don't know if I'm ready to pick this game. Like, this is always the toughest game Monday night to pick when we pick this far, because like you have a full reset Monday morning. Like your brain is refreshed from the betting weekend. Like it feels weird picking this game now. Do you have thoughts? I don't yet.
Yeah, everything screams Rams to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-4, still in that division. They were slight favorites last week against the Seahawks and beat them in overtime by 6.
Mm-hmm.
They've won a lot of these close games. They're starting to get healthier. Puka is going to theoretically play a full game as long as he doesn't punch anybody. Cooper Kupp seems to be back to normal Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not bought in on the Dolphins at all. They still lost last week in the return of Tua. I guess he theoretically is going to get better each week, and that connection with Tyreek Hill should be back this week, if not next week. Ultimately, I think the Rams need it to stay alive in that division. I think they will get the win. So Dolphins +1.
Cool. I'm gonna take the Dolphins too. I think I'm like kind of gonna ride the Dolphins a lot of the rest of the season. I've done it the past 2 weeks and it's done me well. And they seem just like a competent football team versus their record, and I think the spread is indicative of that. I think Vegas knows that, and I think a lot of people like yourself, I know you're taking the Dolphins, but it leans Rams, right? And I like taking the other side of that because I think it's actually a pretty even football game. It should be a good football game too, right? Like the receiving weapons on both sides of the football is great. Both quarterbacks are healthy. Both defenses have shown they can be decent. So
running attacks, both of them great.
It's a good game, actually. I love this game. I'm excited for this Monday Night Football game.
I hope it's a high-scoring game because, the over/under predicts, it should be. There should be a lot of offense. I hope that it lives up to the hype. Thursday Night Football lived up to the hype. It seemed like we've been getting some better primetime games recently, even in the games that don't have great teams like this one.
Right.
So I just hope we get a good football team and both teams have fun. How about that?
I like it. Do you have a lock of the week? I have, I think, 3 that I'm like really considering, and I think I'm leaning one of them. The 3 I'm thinking about are Commanders -2.5. But I don't love that because it's a pretty good spread. Like 2.5 for Commanders team against Steelers, like that's pretty good. Eagles -7, right? I just think 7's low. I almost want to take that. And then actually the one I'm leaning towards is Jags +7. Because I don't think the Jags are as bad as we think. And it's at home, and that feels like a lot of points. And I don't know why I want that to be my lock of the week. But when I looked over the sheet again, I just felt comfortable about that spread, right? Like Vikings at Jags, it just screams close football game, right? I'm gonna take Jags as my lock of the week, +7. Keep it closer, and I actually think it's going up 7.5. In which case, let me hammer it.
I like that. I can't believe that the Jags, obviously not outright win, they still get the points, but I can't believe we're at the point where we're both pretty damn sharp on the lock of the week, and you're taking the Jags. I mean, I've taken some weird teams all season, so I can't talk. But.
Right. Like, sometimes you got to get a little weird. I don't think there's an obvious game to me, and I think that one's the most obvious. Dolphins also kind of feels good, right? I think the smart pick would be Eagles -7. Like, I just think there's a chance they win this game by 30, especially if our guys play, but who knows? So I'm going to take the Jags. What do you know what your lock of the week is?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the game that one of my picks that I hate the most, because that would theoretically be my lock of the week. I hate taking the Giants. I hate the Broncos. I think ultimately the team that I hate the most is the Saints. And so Saints +3.5. Although the Titans is a really close second. I think I hate the Saints more. Saints +3.5.
That's a tough spread, dude. That's tough. Like,
Saints
why is it only
3.5 is my lock of the
3.5?
week. Yep, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I know it's a division game. Like, we love taking division unders at this point, which usually means it's a close, low-scoring football game. I don't know. We should do that. We should start doing that. It's week 10. Like, now's the time to take divisional unders.
Yep.
Parlay them, right?
I was going to say, let's parlay all the ones that we have this week, and let's see how it goes.
Okay, so out of the divisional unders, what do we have? It's because there might be 1 or 2 that I don't want to take, but
we've
majority,
got Broncos, Chiefs.
Okay, I like the under in that
Falcons,
game. Okay, I like the under in that game. Do I?
Cowboys, Eagles.
I don't like the under in that game, so I'm not going to put that in. It's also not like a typical division matchup because it's not really the 2 best teams, right? Like, it's, you kind of know where you're at this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Cowboys are just superior.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's all we got. So I'm going to parlay all 3 of those unders.
Okay. The 2 for just Chiefs Saints is +280. If you're throwing the Eagles Cowboys, it's plus 627. So yeah, maybe I'll do it too. I don't know. I see the Eagles scoring a lot of points. Maybe the Cowboys don't score any. Maybe you're running 11 miles. Are you scared? This one feels scary, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like at some point there's going to be a big break, and the 49ers game easily could have been 13 plus points. The Falcons game easily could have been 10 to 13 plus points. Even if we hold on this week, like, I'm just hoping we can mix in a few wins in between here so I'm not running every week. I'm afraid that at some point we're going to lose by double digits, and I don't think it's going to be like a 10 to 13 where, like, oh, Mike has to run a half marathon, LOL, da, 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 da. Like at some point this season with the schedule we have remaining, it's going to get bad. And
yeah,
I'm going to have to do it because I think that's going to be our break. I think when I run 30 miles in one day, that's the day where I either snap my leg or we get famous.
Gotta bring out the content. That's why it'd be cool if the Eagles win this game by 30 and I'm with you in person and I get a late flight on Monday so that I force you to do it Monday morning when we both have off and I'm like in a car, like just video. That would be a good moment. That would be good content.
Yeah, I'm supposed to spend all day Monday with my mom, so I'll just be like, hey, I'm really sorry.
I have to go run
You can
30
hang out at the beach where I was supposed to spend time with you.
Run on the
I'm going to be
beach.
on the boardwalk running 30 miles.
Right. Where's your mom? What part of Florida?
She just moved to Lakewood Ranch. It's right outside of Sarasota.
Oh, cool. Nice. Is it near the beach?
Yeah, like 40 minutes.
Oh, well, it's not really near the beach, but okay.
I mean, it's closer than
At that
DC
point,
is to the
everything in
beach.
Florida is close to the beach.
Orlando's like an hour and a half from the beach.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you're driving, right?
How close are you in Denver to the beach?
I'd say you can consider close to the beach at max 20 minutes.
Okay, then fine. My mom is 40 minutes from the beach. She's 2 minutes from a lake. Are you happy about that?
That's cool. Are there
It is pretty
alligators
cool.
in it?
I assume so. It's Florida.
It is Florida. Yeah, it's good to be back. I love it here. It's just,
I'm excited to be back in Florida.
Yeah.
We're all debating the ratio of how much we drink on Saturday to how much we drink on Sunday.
Have you considered going to EDC?
I considered it. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's just too much.
It's a lot. I think it adds up. Like sometimes when you like take a step back and look at a weekend on paper, like, yeah, there's going to be times where be a lot, especially in the moment. Okay, for me, it feels like a lot. However, when you take a step back, look at it on paper, you're like, okay, my friends are going to be there. I'm not in Florida as much anymore. I love this festival, right? Like you almost have to do it. So I think for those reasons, I'm going to buy a ticket, get creative because they're like $270 for a night. Pretty sure it's like I have to find like a group exchange or some. But
you should do it though.
I have to do it.
You should do it.
Yeah, like Josh, Pookie, Joe Solks, one of my best friends from Colorado who lives in Sarasota and goes to medical school now is going to be there as well. So like, you know, I kind of have to do it. I want to stay the whole weekend, right? Like I'm not in Florida that much anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's just, I mean, the holidays for me, I don't know if your work's the same. I feel like it is. You have a lot of like sporting events and stuff. Like it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, I have to work the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving.
Are you going to drive up to New York? Up and take the train?
No, my dad's girlfriend, their family celebrates in Baltimore, which is only like a 30-minute train ride for me. So,
and you get to watch the Cowboys lose with them. There you go.
Yeah, who do we play?
You get to run off the turkey.
I think it's someone weird.
It's a weird. I think it's the Giants actually.
It is the Giants.
Yeah. Wow. That's terrible. That's awful.
Still get to enjoy a victory on Thanksgiving.
Against the Giants, yes, you do. I would have to agree with you there. I don't care who the quarterback is. It's just like always the Cowboys in that spot. Especially when they're both bad. Like, if they're either both bad or both good, the Cowboys are winning. It's when I don't know. Wait, when was the last time the Giants beat the Cowboys? That's one feels like a while. I know
maybe like the Jason Pierre-Paul 3-finger kick block.
Way.
No, I'm kidding. And it hasn't been that long.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's I'm sure it was like a week 17 no starters game, maybe like that.
Yeah,
we're forgetting.
Dak Prescott doesn't lose to the Giants.
Like the Eagles also, like I remember at the end of his career, we were like 26-4 against Eli Manning. Like that era was second, and a lot of that continued with Daniel Jones. So that we're the same way with the Giants. I mean, poor Giants fans. Fuck you. Don't care.
I mean, they've had 2 Super Bowls in our lifetime. So
hate the Giants, man. I fucking hate the Giants. Like, we cannot not dog on the Giants while we have the chance. I mean, they are just abysmal. It's been like a streak of abysmal. So usually you're due. I don't know if they're due, right?
No.
Like, it seems
New York,
like,
not due.
Yeah, no. I mean, just the division alone being Cowboys, because you have to admit the Giants' trajectory is up from here. The Commanders' trajectory is up from here. The Eagles are already a juggernaut. The Cowboys' trajectory is down right now. Just like 3-year trajectory. Agree? Disagree?
I mean, I think ultimately at the end of this year, Mike McCarthy gets fired, and then you start a new regime.
Yeah,
as long as Jerry Jones is the GM, we're kind of screwed. But
you got to talk about the players, dude. Like, I don't see the roster with the Cowboys. I don't see talent, right? So it's like 3 years, it's not enough time to kind of refix your talent.
I agree, but if you look at the team that, yes, has no talent and all of these injuries, they're still 3-5 that's been in multiple games this year that they could have won. Like,
I guess. Yeah.
There are other 3-5 teams that are lucky to be 3-5. Like,
I agree with you.
We're still a middle of the pack football team in the NFL.
I don't know. You should have mentioned it, but if you want to bring up the NBA, well, I'll give you the chance. Do you have any big NBA thoughts so far? 8 games or so into the season.
Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren are hella sick.
Yeah, the future.
The aliens and all of the other French ones, that guy on the Hawks doesn't look half bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to keep coming. These big, lanky freaks that are just being created out of labs, they are the new NBA, and they're pretty fucking cool.
Our NBA insider, he gave us 4 main notes for the season so far. He said 2 words: thunder scary. Thunder indeed scary, Sean. Yes. And probably Thunder Celtics makes a lot of sense in my eyes so far. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think those are the 2 best teams in the NBA.
I would have to agree. I mean,
think
you're gonna move into the second point, which brings up another good team.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So do you have any big other ones on your mind besides Sean's?
I mean, the Timberwolves look good. They haven't really missed a beat without Cat, and Julius Randle is fitting well into that team.
They have a top 5 player in the NBA. They'll be good every year for a long time. Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is a dog.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable calling him top 5. Maybe you have to pin that on outlook versus top 5 player right now, because I think you could still argue LeBron's over Anthony Edwards, right? But no, the one you probably should have said this, but I'll mention it to my own demise. The Sixers are 1-7.
I was gonna let you get to that one
because Joel's been out and there's been weird shit there. I'm also surprised you didn't bring this up in a point. He's suspended for 3 games because of an altercation with a media. I forget the name of the Philly guy. He's just one of our Sixers beat reporters. And listen, I'm going to take the side with Joel Embiid on this. And pretty much any case of an athlete versus Philly media. Philly media is the worst toxic media city it's in the country. It is just awful that like our players have to deal with this media that does not speak for our fan base. They love a juicy story that gets engagement. And these legacy guys are just the fucking worst. Like you almost with the media and especially local media, it's like when you do it for 30 years, it's gonna feel like a job, right? And you're gonna want to do your job the best, right? So you look at numbers and you try and just engagement bait versus if you were to have a guy like us come in to do local radio and bring juice and energy and make mistakes, but there's passion and vulnerability, right? Like it's so bad. It's the same dude. So anyways, I went on a Philly rant there, but like Joel Embiid, I forget what he was saying. Pretty much something around the lines of like, you don't tell us what's going on with your injury and like you don't care about the fan base. Which he does, okay? He wouldn't have signed a contract to stay in Philly if he didn't care about Philly because Philly has fucked Joel Embiid like for 5 years. So that's blown up. My point is, Paul George just started playing again. Tyrese Maxey has had to carry, which I will also admit probably has kind of done a better job. But it's a tough task, right? So 1-7, not a great start. Am I worried? Not yet. However, you never want to start a professional sports season 1-7. I will say that.
I agree. And yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't been as dialed in on the NBA.
No, we're not supposed to be. Football's no.
Yeah, and football, and I'm still coming off the World Series hangover.
Yes.
Work is picking up, so I'm forced to constantly watch Wizards games. I did get to watch the Cavs, who I do know are still undefeated, I believe. Yeah, they are 9-0.
There you go. And Sean's
they looked pretty fucking good.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that. So I'm on the same boat as you. Sean's points were Suns finally look like they fucking should. I'm loving Redick so far, but not sure if the Lakers have the juice. The Lakers have looked good, and I love JJ Redick. I've always loved JJ Redick, so it's good to see that there's like already positivity there. And then we don't have to read the last one. It's about the Celtics.
Yeah. I mean, the Celtics are a juggernaut, and it's going to be hard to beat them.
Can we end the episode with talking about our phone conversation on Wednesday night? When was that?
Remind me.
Tuesday night?
Oh yeah.
What night was that? That was like was that last night?
I think that was last night.
Oh my god, my day. I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
So how did it start? I called you about like I was like it was a podcast epiphany, and we won't spoil, but we were like, what if we did this? And it's like then it was this, and then like this. It was one of those, and then it got to a point.
Future.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where we're like, we're moving to New York. Like we're just doing it. Like it just I don't know how that became the conclusion. We don't have to try and recap the whole thing, but it concluded on we are moving to New York City sooner rather than later.
I've legitimately like still been thinking about it, and I've talked to people, and I've come to the conclusion, which is the same conclusion that we came to. New York is the greatest place in America to be for a young single person in their 20s and early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And we belong there.
Yeah.
And this is the time to do it. We probably should have done it a year ago.
No, like it's still like the window is still there. This is still a great time to do it. And you said it best. Like I love Denver like so much. It's become such a home to me. It really has like everything I need. But I'm always will know that there is something bigger. There's a bigger competition in this world, right? There's a bigger stage. And that's New York City. That's the greatest city in America. It just is, right? I know it has its problems. Guess what? Every city does, right? And the thing is, Denver will always be there for me. Same thing with DC. Same thing with anywhere, right? New York, there is a window, especially if you haven't lived there before, because you're not going to try it when you're 40. And even if you did, you have your wife and kids at that point. Like there's different ways to experience the city at different points in life. So you nailed that point, Mike. And I actually kind of have a window like with my company to make it happen with a commute. But the thing is, you're in New York City. There's an opportunity everywhere. It's New York City. So
and
I think
everybody's grinding and everyone's hustling and bustling and running around, high energy, high pace. Like, yeah, you're living in a shoebox, but you're never in that shoebox.
No,
because you're doing shit.
You're blacked out. Like, and some people hate that. And I could move there and very much just not be able to stand it, because I am just not able to process like the space and like beauty I get in Colorado and even Florida. So, maybe I'm sure there's tough days, right? The thing is, like, most of the time you're just blacked out and you're just like going forward. And that's like cool to do. One, because you're extremely productive and you set up like a lot of the rest of your life that way, right? Two, like we have the energy to do it. Like, like now's the time. So I'm bought in, dude. Not to mention like we would get to do like an in-person pod, right? But it's like anything extracurricular, because you're in New York City. Like that's what they like. That's what's promoted, right? Is like do those type of things. Yeah, dude, let's do it. I'm fucking in.
I'm in. I mean,
I have great friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I would have done it right out of college if I didn't grow up in New Jersey and I was like, oh, well, I used to go to New York all the time. I want to go somewhere new. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I agree. It's completely different.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've talked to a lot of my friends who are either up in DC now or still in Florida talking about moving out. And everyone, the first place is like New York. And yeah, you're living in a shoebox. It's expensive. Like there's a lot of concerns about living there. But if you can make it happen, and you're not going to save as much money, but if you can afford it financially, like it is the best place to be, and there's no debate.
Right.
You will, like you said, you will always be able to go back to Denver and live that chill lifestyle. You will always be able to go to Florida and live that chill lifestyle.
Yes.
There are other really cool cities that maybe you spend a year or two in, or you visit on vacation, or you visit friends that are there.
Austin,
and it's
San
awesome.
Diego, Tampa, like, right? They're everywhere. But like my
Nothing's
biggest
like New York.
thing is like it's the biggest there is. It's like I just look at it like I do this in life, right? I look at life as like a game, and like you're getting a high score, right? I also look at it as like a story. And so I want to like compete against the best. I want to learn from the best. The best is in New York City for the United States of America, right? So that's honestly my biggest reason. It's like I want to be there, because I know no matter where else I am, it's not as big.
I agree.
Maybe I'll hate it. And I don't think I will, though, because I've always wanted that, right? Like I've always wanted to be in that environment.
You're not going to hate it.
No, there's no way. And like I'm very comfortable throwing myself into any environment. I have a very dumb confidence when it comes to it. I'll probably get hit in the ass one day for a lot of things. Like I feel like my life lessons have to be had, I was thinking about it. I was telling this person I was hanging out with, I was telling them like my worst blackout story, and I was like, my worst blackout story, maybe I'll sell it one day. Like I didn't get repercussions for the actions I did that night. And if anything, it's a really bad thing. Like that's kind of how I look at life. I haven't had the punishments from some of the dumb decisions I've made. But maybe, we have good hearts and we never will, because we're just dumb.
I think if good people do good things with good motives, good things happen.
I agree. Like
that's kind of how I live my life. I live my life very open-ended. I have structure, but I don't really have much of like like when people say like where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Like all
Right.
that, like, I don't know.
I have a
I want to be out.
general
I want to,
idea, but like, don't ask me to tell you exactly what it's going to be because I
as
don't
long
want
as
that.
I'm still having fun and enjoying myself, then I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to move up through my career as long as I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm passionate about it. I'll continue to make friends and have fun outside of work as long as I continue to put myself out there and be a good person. And the rest kind of takes care of itself for good people like us.
Mm-hmm.
My
Amen.
parents would like if I had a bit more structure and planning, but hasn't let me down yet. And
But
I turned 24 in a few weeks, so
I think your parents are probably the same way as mine. As like they're at the point where it's like, yeah, they got it. Like they're close enough, you know. And that's kind of where you want to be. You want to make mistakes. You want to be able to learn from them. You want to be able to tell the story of your mistakes when you're not as dumb later in life, right? Let's go
I
make
hope I'm
some.
always this way, though.
Me too. And
I hope I never change.
I think we will be. I think, and obviously it translates when you have like kids and shit, like right. You just automatically become a different. Everyone does. And if you don't,
Yeah,
like, there's red flags to that.
like now we look forward to getting super drunk every weekend. Maybe that might not happen, but like I want to black out at my 40th birthday party. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and like I still like just like it's a lot, but like just going to a job and like like just living that it's not that bad, and you make it. Not to mention the money. Like the money's the best part. Like you're making
Yeah.
great money as a young adult. Yeah, New York, our money will not be as much. It will be taken away very aggressively.
Yeah, but theoretically we're making more because they have to pay us more.
Right. Yes, technically.
And by then we'll be raking in cash from the Why Not Us
you
podcast.
get paid in
So
other ways, right? It's like it's the experiences, it's the connections. Yes, New York is expensive. The thing people forget is like you're paying for an experience. It's not just where you live. So you put yourself in the biggest city in the world with just all the pluses we just named. I can see why it's hard for people to move to New York because of like if you don't take the mindset that we're taking as far as like, hey, this is New York City, right? There's like an aura, there's a bigger stage, all that shit, right? But if you just look at it for like what it is, plain and simple, you take that open door outside mindset with you. Yeah, no shit, you're not gonna like it, dude. Like,
right. We're gonna like it though. And we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. We said 30-minute pod, it's an hour and a half. Look at us. I hate myself. I suck. Dude, I gotta be up in like 5 hours.
I'm at a sleep in, so
Tony Hawk is our keynote speaker.
That's pretty fucking
He's at 9 a.m. But I'm like, it's really 7. I keep looking at my laptop timer, but it's in Mountain Time. It's 1:30 a.m. right now.
It is.
We should start telling people the time that we are at during these pods. Like some of these, it's like aggressively late.
Well, I think that's why we don't have as many guests on.
Right. People are like, you're doing what? Like, they're like, what time? And like, I don't think we even think about it. It's just like, we're doing the pod tonight. Like, we'll get to it when we get to it.
That's how we've always done it. And we just make it happen.
It's like, it gets to a point where it's like, whatever.
Why not us, Mike?
Why not us, Mike? We're doing good. I need you to upload it though. I'm gonna give you. YouTube's easy. You have to log in, and I'm gonna give you the my Spotify password. You have to get the Spotify for podcasters out. And this brings me to a good point. We're taking applications for a full-time editor. We will pay you in locks of the week, and there will be equity. I'm working on the medical insurance. And obviously, there will be room to grow into a bigger role on the Why Not Us podcast.
It's a long-term investment. It's kind of like when your grandma gave you a bond when you were 10 years old, but you couldn't touch it till you were 21.
Still happen.
Well, right now, we're not profitable, but when we are, you're going to want to be in, and you're going to wish that you got in now.
Totally.
If you can make us a logo and do some pretty basic social media stuff, it's slightly cooler than the reels I've been making. We'll take you.
Yeah, Mike's been our social media guy. I step in every once in a while, but he's been taking the load there, and you've been doing good. Like the content with the running is good, and the graphics will look better. So like, but it all takes like you just gotta like dial in and do it. And yeah, that's another thing we talked about. We were like, what's our like rule? It's like, we should start defining. I'm like, well, I think I'm the guy that.
We'll get there.
Oh man, yeah, no, I don't know how I was able to talk that much too. I started off the podcast just a shell, and I feel alive. So
I'm happy. I hope you struggle to sleep now that you have the adrenaline.
no, I'll be okay. Cheers, y'all. Mike, maybe see you soon. I texted some people about changing my flight.
I'll see you soon. It just might not be this weekend.
Go Birds.
Go Eagles. Fuck you. And
you just say go Eagles?
Did I just say go Eagles?
You just said go Eagles.
That's how you know I'm tired.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm fading myself, so I actually might go Cowboys.
You didn't fade yourself in that game. Mike, I have to end the pod. I'm sorry. You just ended on that note. This is going to be put in the record book. Like, we will talk about the potential implications of saying.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mike.